Hello everyone, I am back. If you're new here, I am Molly and I do book content here on YouTube. Today I have a couple of things to do. Firstly, I have a little announcement and then we'll get into the main video. So I have been told by the lovely Christy A. Cole, about a week or two ago now, that I have now reached over 100 subscribers. What? There's 100 of you who want to follow me? I am very honoured that so many of you want to subscribe. So thank you. So yeah, basically I've got to do something to celebrate this amazing achievement that I never thought I would get to 100 subscribers so quickly. To me, I've only been on a year and I have been reasonably regular with keeping up with uploads, apart from a couple of times where I was like a day late or a couple of weeks late because my computer broke. Well, it didn't technically break, but it was old, so it was a whole thing. I don't need to describe it here. So yes, what I was thinking of doing is I was thinking of doing a video to celebrate, and I was thinking of doing a Q&A. So what I will do is I will have a couple of ways where people can add questions, and I will answer them for you. And can be questions about anything about anything to do with books, anything to do about me personally. I was also thinking of doing this video with the Q&A with maybe the get to know me tag, because they'll be kind of related. I have also heard through of Lucy from Lucy Chronicles, who's talking to another lovely YouTuber called Whitney, who is coming up to a year on YouTube, just like me. I'm coming up to a year in September, and she was saying that there is a 1 year tag thing, so I might do that when it comes to my 1 year anniversary. I know it's sometime in September, but I cannot remember when, so it's coming up. So I've got a couple of video ideas for both of those, and I'll do different posts for all of those, and I'll probably do like a YouTube post as well as, if you would like to leave a comment on here, you can just let me know that there's a question somehow. Maybe use a question mark emoji, maybe, or write even the question, the word question. So then I know that there's a question for the Q&A. That would be really useful. And I'll probably do like a YouTube post as well as an Instagram post. So there's a few different options for me to look at, and hopefully I'll remember to get those questions in a paper format before I film, because I film on my phone, so I can't really look at them. So yes, so I'm thinking of doing that. I'll also do something for the 1 year anniversary as well. I'll probably do a separate video celebrating that as well. So yeah, for the Q&A for my 100 subscribers celebration, I will look at those and I will answer them in the video. I was thinking of doing it sometime. That's the point. When would I do it? I don't know. I'll do it soon-ish. Oh yeah, that was it. I was thinking of doing it at around the same time as the 1 year. I might do it sometime in September, so not long really. But yeah, if you want to ask me a question, please do. So now that I have done all of that, let's get into the main point of this video. So, if you are a regular viewer, you will know that I do book tags. And sometimes I have been specifically tagged, sometimes they're just tags that I like, so I decide that I would like to do them. And this one is one of the latter. This is the coffee book tag, and I've seen a couple of YouTubers do this. I saw Cheryl from Candlewick Library do this tag, and I've seen Lucy from Lucy Chronicles do this tag. So I will tag both of them in it. Neither of them have tagged me, but I'm going to do it anyway because I want to film a video and this one seemed good. So what I'm going to do is I could use physical books, but I think most of the time I'm just going to use pictures because I cannot be bothered to look around for my books. So yeah, and I thought, why not do the coffee book tag whilst I've got coffee? So I got a lunch takeaway lunch Costa, and this is a sugar-free cinnamon bun latte, I think. Although it kind of tastes like gingerbread because they both have cinnamon in it. So yeah, I'm not quite sure. I think it is cinnamon bun because it does mostly just taste of cinnamon. But anyway, I had to reheat this because it got cold. So yeah. So I thought, why not do the coffee book tag whilst I have a coffee? So, let's get into these questions. So, there are 8 questions / prompts. So let's get into it. So the first one is black, like black coffee. And this is name a series that's tough to get into, but has hardcore fans. And I don't know what this means by tough to get into. I don't know whether that means it's tough because you can never get around to it, or tough because of the topics or page count or whatever. So I wasn't quite sure what to put for that one. I have a couple of series ones as options. One of them is Narnia, because I know there's a lot of die-hard fans, especially in the Christian community. So that is one. But I was also thinking of the Lord of the Rings series. And that is especially because it's like sort of high epic fantasy with ginormous page counts. So yeah. Those are my options. Probably more so Lord of the Rings than Narnia. But both do have hardcore fans. So I'll probably go with Lord of the Rings. Because I would like to get into it, but it's just tough to get into. And I have wondered about maybe starting with The Hobbit, because it is a shorter book. But we'll have to see. Question 2. Peppermint Mocha. That always sounds so good. Chocolate with peppermint and coffee. Can't go wrong, I don't think. I should try that sometime. And this question is, name a book that gets more popular during the winter or festive time. And there's a couple of books that first came to mind. I can't really think of any others, although actually now that I think about it, there was at least one other, which is part of a series. Actually 2 different parts of the series. Yeah, I'm probably going to stick with maybe Little Women by Louisa May Alcott, even though this isn't necessarily a Christmas winter book. It kind of still has that feel to it. It starts during that season, so as well in the book and in the film adaptations. So that one's definitely a good one. But I was also thinking of A Christmas Carol, but that is technically part of the title, so you would expect it, whereas Little Women you wouldn't necessarily think of that, to be honest. So I'll probably stick with that one, because you wouldn't necessarily think it gets popular during the winter or festive season, but it does. So yeah. Question 3. Hot chocolate. What is your favourite children's book? And there's a few. Some of them are also parts of series. So Little Women is one. That whole series. We've also got the Murder Most Unladylike series so far anyway. Have been really good. The biggest one that I'm sure those of you who are regular viewers will not be surprised at my answer for this one. And that is Anne of Green Gables, and just the Anne of Green Gables series in general. Are any of you surprised? No? Yeah, I don't blame you. I'm not either. I would definitely say that would be a favourite children's book. So yeah, maybe that one. But I don't really have... I always find favourite books in general difficult because I'm never sure what really counts as favourites, because a lot of books I really enjoy, and especially if I give them 5 stars, I would call them my favourite books, but I wouldn't necessarily reread them. And that's always the next thing, like, does it only count if it's a book you would or have reread? Because that would change things. And to be fair, not much, because it would still be Anne of Green Gables, because I have technically reread the first 3 books twice in total. But yes, so I'm not sure. I don't know. But I'm going to stick with Anne of Green Gables, because that is the closest to what I would say a favourite book is, because I'm going through her series. I've been reading a couple of her other books because it's part of the Year of Maud Readathon that Chantel is doing, from Chantel Reads All Day. And I've been loving all of those books as well. Nothing lower than a 4-star so far. And so, yeah, I think Anne of Green Gables is probably the one that would count, because Ellen Montgomery is certainly a favourite author at this point. So, yeah, I'm going to stick with that one. Lovely. Question 4. Double shot of espresso. I always want to say espresso. Espresso. Name a book that kept you on the edge of your seat from start to finish. And there's a few books that are like that. I would say certainly City of Ghosts by Victoria Schwab, or V.E. Schwab. That is a children's middle grade book. Obviously I'll put the pictures up on one of these sides. That one was definitely one I read really quickly, although it is a children's book, so those I do tend to read a bit quicker anyway. But I am a slow reader, so it's up to you with that one. But it was definitely had me on the edge of my seat. I read it really quickly. I would also say the same for The Lost Library by Melissa Coslin. I read that last month, and I read that one really quickly, again in about 3-4 days. So I read that really quickly, so I was definitely on the edge of my seat with that one. If you want something to do really short, I read My Husband by Maud Ventura, and read that in 2 days, which is not a big book. It's about 200-ish pages or something, so it's not the biggest book in the world, but because of the content, it's not exciting. It's not like The Lost Library, if any of you have read that. It's like an action book, bit adventurous, bit of mystery. It's kind of sort of high stakes and stuff. So, you know, with the genre of that book, you would expect it to hopefully have you on the edge of your seat and sort of excited to keep reading. Whereas My Husband is more of like a literary, weird girl fiction sort of genre, where it's all it is basically a week in this woman's life. So it's not particularly exciting, but I was still weirdly gripped. I was still on the edge of my seat, wanting to read more and more as much as possible, despite the fact that what was in the book isn't really exciting. It's just everyday life, basically, except in the point of view of this woman. So it's difficult. I've got a few options for that one, and it also depends on what you're into as well. So yeah, all those books I would say kept me on the edge of my seat. I mean, there's also the Hunger Games trilogy as well. They would count too. But yeah, I'll probably leave it at those, because I could think up more and more books as I wait and think. So let's stop there before I'm here all day, because we don't want another long one after my last video, which is over an hour long. I apologise for that. I had a lot of books in the last like 3 months. I've also bought 2 more since that video, but I only spent like 50p on them. Question 5. Starbucks. Name a book you see everywhere. You see, and that's difficult because I don't, like, there are books you might see everywhere, but they're not, you wouldn't necessarily see them in like a Waterstones or like a big name bookshop sort of thing. I mean, it depends. Some books you see everywhere for a while and then you don't see them. And vice versa, books you don't see and then for some reason you see it everywhere. Everywhere for one day or something. And I don't really want to count a new book. So I could say Sunrise on the Reaping by Suzanne Collins, which is the newest Hunger Games book, a prequel. And so I could say that, because I have been seeing that everywhere, certainly in like your local supermarket, Tesco's, you know, and other bookshops. But I don't really want to say something like that because I find it doesn't really count because it's a new book, so you would see it everywhere really. So I'm trying to think about like books I would see in charity shops, and like I was saying, it varies. Sometimes there are books I see regularly and then I don't see them. I'm trying to think what I often regularly see. Like I couldn't say a particular book, but I could say different like genres and types of books, you know, like classics or historical or, you know, whatever, thrillers. I'm always seeing thrillers. And then there's also the fact that I don't necessarily know the title right now. So I do regularly see James Patterson's books. I think he does thrillers, all that sort of thing. Yeah, I'll just say that. I don't really know his books, so I can't really give a title. So I'll probably just put a random one that I recognise the title of if I find one. So yeah, I'll just say that. Question 6. That Hipster Coffee Shop. Give a book by an indie author a shout out. Now the thing is, I don't know who is an indie author. I think, is Melissa Coslin an indie author or used to be? I'm trying to think. Because I think they were self-published, but I don't know whether that, I assume that means an indie author, an independent. So maybe Melissa Coslin, but I'm not actually sure if she is. I don't really pay attention to stuff like that. I usually just pick out what I like the sound of or the look of. So I don't necessarily know. I'm going to stick with Melissa Coslin. I'm not sure if she is. Let me know if she isn't, and I apologise if she isn't, because I don't know. I really just don't keep up with stuff like that. I've no idea who is an indie author and who isn't. I mean, I could probably guess on who isn't more than who is, but yeah, no, I don't know. 7. Oops, I accidentally got decaf. Name a book you were expecting more from. And that's a good question, isn't it? Name a book you expected more from. I'm sure there have been books. I just can't think of them at the moment. The only one I can kind of think about, which I didn't really necessarily expect more from, but I am disappointed in it. And definitely expected more than I got, but I wouldn't necessarily say that I was expecting much. And that was the Pumpkin Spice Cafe by Laurie Gilmore. I read that this month, and just to give you a little bit of a spoiler for my wrap up, I had to DNF it. I was expecting a little bit more from that, mainly in terms of how the characters acted. I didn't finish it, obviously, because I DNF'd it, but there was just one scene that just made me just go, I can't keep doing with this anymore, because they acted in a way that I was kind of surprised about. They just acted like they were alone, and I was talk more about that in my wrap up, but I was just expecting a bit more from them. So I'll probably stick with that one. I don't really know what else to other than that to say, because I can't really think of it, not without looking around. So yeah, I'll just say pumpkin spice cafe. Question 8, and this is the final question. The perfect blend. Name a book or series that was both bitter and sweet, but ultimately satisfying. I mean, there's a couple of options. One of them is technically incomplete because I've not finished the series. And actually I could say that for both of these, but the other one is, you could say, because they're the only books I read and it was originally just those books, I could get away with saying that. So one of them is the Anne of Green Gables series because it's going through the life of Anne Shirley, certainly for the first load of the books. And she, you know, obviously, like we all do, goes through hard times and good times. But I've technically not finished the series. So I couldn't necessarily tell you about the ultimately satisfying thing. But so far it has been, certainly for each individual book. So I could say the Anne of Green Gables series, but I don't really think it necessarily counts. But the other series that I was thinking about, which I'm sure none of you are surprised about when I do say it, and that is the original Hunger Games trilogy. And this is where I'm like, does it count as a completed series? Because obviously we've got the prequels, but it was originally just those 3 books. And those 3 books on their own are complete. They are a complete series. So I guess that technically counts because it's not like I'm talking about the 2 prequels. I am just talking about those 3 books because I have read those. And I would definitely say they are a mix of bitter and sweet and ultimately satisfying in my opinion. So I could say that because obviously, like with what I said about Anne of Green Gables, there were difficult times that they go through, especially in the Hunger Games because it is dystopian. But then, you know, there's obviously some sweet moments like with the romance and then obviously the ending. So, and the friendships as well. So, you know, I would say that one definitely counts more than Anne because certainly those 3 books are a complete series. So I'll probably go with those. So yeah, sorry that I'm not holding up any of my physical books of the books I've talked about. I just couldn't be bothered walking around looking for my books. So yeah, you're welcome. But that is me done. Thank you for watching this video. Oh, should I tag anyone? I don't know who's done this and who hasn't. So just consider yourself tagged if you do YouTube videos and you want to do this tag. Please do consider yourself tagged. Tag me when you have done and I would love to watch it. If you don't do YouTube videos but you do want to answer one or more of these questions, please do so in the comments and I will have a look and see your answers. I would love to know them as well. And if any of you want to leave a question for my 100 subscriber Q&A, please do. I will use this video as my main video for you to ask the questions on, but I will also be doing like a YouTube post as well as an Instagram post specifically for questions as well. I haven't done it yet as of filming, but obviously because I'm doing this video, I will need to have done that post for this video, so then you have them all available. So yes, thank you so much for watching, and thank you again to all of you who have subscribed, whether you subscribed right near the start, or you've only just subscribed, or have since subscribed since I got 100 subscribers and you're my 102nd or something. As I film this, I haven't checked how far I've gotten. I try not to, and thankfully on the app it's not straightforward for me to be able to see how many subscribers I have. I have to click a few things, which kind of helps in the ego way because I don't do this to get loads of subscribers or to earn money, not really. Would that be a great benefit? Of course it would be, but I'm so early on, I don't expect anything like that, and it's not a priority. So yeah, thank you so much. I do love doing my YouTube videos. I love the community that I have built from the people I watch, as well as those of you who comment on my videos. I am really grateful for this community. Yeah, I definitely feel like I have friends here. Even though most of you are all the way in America or Canada. I don't mind. It's great. It's one of the really good things about the internet, you know. It means we can do things like sprints sometimes. I mean, sometimes it does mean I'm up at 1 in the morning, but to be fair, I'm like that anyway. I don't need sprints to be up at 1 in the morning. But anyway, thank you again to everyone who watches, comments, who's subscribed. And if you watch my videos and you're not subscribed, please don't forget to do that. And make sure you like this video and leave a comment. And don't forget, if you do want to answer a question for this Q&A, either use the question mark emoji or write the word question. And if you want to do it in all capitals, you can. That would be even more helpful, but it doesn't matter as long as you write the word question. So then I know it's for my Q&A that I'll be doing in at least a couple of weeks. I was thinking of doing it around, well, I don't really, anyway, I'm not going to put a time scale on it because, well, not a specific one. But I'll be doing it soon, is what I'm trying to say. In at least a week, maybe 2 or more. So yeah, you've got plenty of time. Yeah. Anyway, let's leave because it's already getting long. It's already getting on for half an hour. To be fair, it's unedited, but still. I tend not to edit too much, just to keep it flowing a bit smoother. So yeah. Thank you for watching. I hope you will have a lovely rest of your week and weekend, whatever day it is and whatever time. So yeah, I will see you all next week, and God bless.